What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two friends, my two co-hosts. First to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
Just happy to be here.
Yes, sir. To my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne. Got his sleeves rolled up.
Happy. I got my sleeves rolled up because we're getting it in the mud today.
Yes. Are we?
No, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Not actually.
No, it's a holiday week. We're here Monday.
Uh-huh.
Office is quiet.
And you know what today is?
What?
Isn't it your birthday?
Wow.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I didn't know that.
I was going to save that to the
I
end
did
when
not know
no
that.
cake showed up, and it was like the
know
incredible
that.
disparity between
Happy
my
birthday.
and Joe's birthday at
Happy
the Complex
birthday.
Sneakers podcast, where they roll out a cake with the candles
That's
lit
BS.
on set versus
And-
me, and it's just, but thank you, Welty.
Thank you, Welty. Happy birthday.
Thank you. No,
We will make it up to you
you
for
going to get
sure.
some honey buns from the bodega or
We
what?
will make it up to you. Trust
Some
me.
ho-hos? Some
Trust me,
zigzags?
we will make it up to you.
Thank you, Welty.
Happy birthday, buddy. Dave Matthews didn't catch that one, huh? Didn't catch that one?
It's okay.
I mean, to be fair, I don't even know what date it is. I know that the 4th is coming up. What is it, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. We are here.
Tom Cruise's birthday as well.
Okay.
And Sebastian Vettel.
Who's
Sebastian Maniscalco?
Sebastian Vettel's a retired F1 driver. One of the
Okay.
greats. 4-time champion Sebastian Vettel. Anyways, that's not
yes.
important.
Two out of
Yes, it is
two
important.
out of the three people have Tiffany dunks.
Out of which 3 people?
People you just named. You,
Oh, Tom Cruise, me, and not Sebastian Vettel,
Yeah.
as far as we know.
All right.
We are getting it out the mud
Yeah.
today.
Yes, we are. A little bit of sneaker news. To start off, I think, where do we want to start this week?
I feel like we have to talk about the passing of Chris Printup Spanto from
Yes.
Born and Raised. Rest in peace. Sending thoughts to his family and everybody who was close to him in the industry. It's been such a outpouring of condolences and special messages and things that I appreciate reading, never having met him or not knowing him or, knowing the body of work to an extent, but not particularly well. So have appreciated all of that.
Absolutely. I think like all the tributes online, I didn't meet him as well, but you heard his name so many times. And when all the tributes online basically kind of say the same thing in totally kind of different ways, it
Yeah,
shows just
painting a portrait of who he was.
Exactly. Shows how much of an impact he had on the city and this industry. So, yeah, thoughts definitely go out to his family and friends. And you actually got a chance to interview him a few years ago.
Almost a decade ago, right?
No, not 2017.
Okay.
So not a long. Like it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
I want to say this was maybe like when I just started to do full size run.
Okay.
So it just feels like completely different era.
Different phase in your life.
Yeah. So I had written a long form reported story on the Nike Cortez because this is when Kendrick had done the collaborations on the shoe. And it felt like at that moment the Cortez was kind of having a resurgence. So I wanted to write a story about the history of the Cortez in Los Angeles. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Quintessential West Coast Nike sneaker.
Love that shoe.
yes.
Love
And
the Cortez.
I'm like, I talked to Isaac Faldon, who is the owner of Sporty LA. And then I wanted to get someone who's like a sneaker person, but someone who had a connection to like that true like LA street gang culture. And I'm looking through all like the streetwear brands and all that sort of stuff. And Spanto was one of the people who came up. So our friend Jimmy Gorecki had actually linked us with Spanto because I think at the time people were like, hey, he's not like the most out there person to like you can't just like DM him and be like, hey, you want to talk, and like, or just hit him up. He was kind of a little, not like reclusive, but just not super like forward facing at the time. And I remember talking to Jimmy and he's like, I'll try to link you with them, but I don't know if he's like super into just talking to people, like a little, like, I don't want to say standoffish, but just like he was a LA street dude who just doesn't want to give interviews to every single publication about stuff, right? And then I talked to him I think for like 30 minutes about the Cortez, and he just talked about like, you can read the story, and I think we're going to put the full interview up this week. You can read both of them, but he just talked a lot about like the harsh like gang realities of wearing the Cortez in Los Angeles and being
in Venice specifically, where he grew up.
Being 4th, 5th grade and having the shoes, and then his mom telling him he can't wear the shoes, and then like seeing people get jumped over Nike Cortez, and then like the riots happened in LA in 1992, and just how like that shoe just changed so much like within that city, like when all of that happened. And
Yeah.
it was I think it was just like really interesting to to like get his perspective because it's still one of my favorite interviews I've ever done just because of how like real he was.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like, not that you don't expect it, but you know, sometimes
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered. And then you talk to someone and maybe sometimes people will give you like their perception or what they've learned about something.
Yes.
But he's like, no, this is actually like
My firsthand experience.
I saw like a guy on the boardwalk get jumped over his Nike Cortez. You know, like you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. And then I remember, I think it was like 2 years later at Complex Con, like, or maybe that year at Complex Con, he was there and he had this born and raised booth and they're all hanging out. And I saw him and I'm like, fuck. I wanted to go say hi to him, but at that time I didn't think he like would have known who I was because this was like so early on in like full size run that like people weren't like, oh, hey, Welty, what's up? You know? And I don't even know if he remembered it. So I kept, and he was like the center of attention. Everyone wanted to be around Spanto. And I,
like the mayor of LA is how a lot of people have described him.
Yeah. And I wanted to like go say hi. And I kept on like looking over and seeing if it was like, okay. And then I didn't end up going to talk to him in person. And now like looking back upon that, I just regret not like taking like the courage to just be like, hey, remember we had like that hour-long phone conversation, you know, like 4 months ago, and then just introduced yourself. But,
that's a lesson too to take from this, and I've had that experience once before in my life of seeing somebody who I respected in a certain space out in public and not taking the time to go talk to them and at least pay my respects and tell them how much I appreciated their work, and then they were gone a few years later. And I think it's always worth taking that time or kind of getting over, you know, whatever nervousness or trepidation you have about that and just having the conversation with the person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely obviously not happy about what happened with everything, but just looking back, that little like interaction that I got to have with him that had that little bit of impact where hopefully me having that little bit of connection with him can make something bigger out of it, you know, and then the world can see kind of who he was.
Yeah, his viewpoint on footwear. You sent me the audio of the conversation, and I just so enjoyed it as a relic and a snapshot of the things he's been through and why he feels certain ways about certain sneakers, and just his appreciation for the Cortez being so genuine. And it's regional, and we enjoy regional sneaker taste, but it's not more territorial.
They're like more authentic too, where he's like really talking from like
and that's
spirit.
the thing. The Cortez is such a mainstay in terms of like GRs, and it's so prevalent in sneaker industry.
I think there's a Cortez push coming as well. So
it was funny. I remember one of the tidbits from the interview where he's like talking about, you know, all LA gang and street culture, so much with the Cortez, but he goes, dude, George Costanza wore that shoe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think it would be very easy to be super precious about the shoe and feeling like you owned it outright. But he was also smart enough to know that that shoe doesn't belong to a particular culture intrinsically, and that people in Oregon designed it and it was a running shoe originally. So I think, Welty, in the interview, you asked him how he felt about seeing other people wear it. And he was like, well, we didn't start this thing. We adopted it, and it was important to us growing up, but it's not exclusively ours. And that's that thing I was saying about it's a regional approach to sneakers, but not a territorial approach.
And anytime you could get someone to speak on the actual history, like you said, it is a relic. Like shoes and sneakers have stories. A lot of them kind of get lost. And when you have that, someone on record telling a story that is like different than the Forrest Gump movie scene and things like that, a totally other authentic angle, really, really important. And I'm glad that, you know, you got a chance to talk to him about that.
It's just crazy to me to think sometimes where how all these things like line up, right? Because like I said, it was like I had just started doing full size run at the time. I was just a sneaker writer for Complex.com. Had been doing it for a few years, but then by chance got to talk to Spanto, right? Interview him and have a long talk with him, and then get that recorded, and then full size run and all these shows that I end up getting to do after that become like a bigger thing, and then my career gets, you know, longer and sustained through all of this, and then this happens to Spanto and he passes away, like rest in peace. But then as we talked about it, I like just Googled in my email and just happened to find I don't have any of these old interviews that I've done over the years, just the audio. It just happened to be for some reason on a Google Drive in my email, and then finding the complete thing. And now through all these years of everything I've got to do, and now having his audio and then getting to put that out to the world, it just seems like a weird, almost like coincidence, you know, where it's
happy we could publish that. It's an important conversation.
sure.
Another piece of sneaker news related to all this, in the passing of Spanto was in a car accident. Nike has said in a comment to Complex that they are postponing the release of the upcoming Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk, which was set to come out mid-July. There's no new release date. I think this is a special moment for them to take a breath and take a beat and figure out something really fitting and special to do with the sneakers and have it be just a moment of celebration of him and of the brand. And I think also they've already been doing that. You know, the shoes have this melancholy note to them now, but even before his passing, they were already thinking about how to make this special to Venice and Spanto's hometown. They gave away pairs to the entire graduating class of Venice High School. So that track record is there in terms of this being a very intentional sneaker and something special.
And it's even crazier to me because we, just peeling back the curtain a little bit, we were shooting the full size run episode with
shout out
with Paul Rodriguez.
Yep.
Another LA dude.
Yeah, another LA dude, and we're talking about the Born and Raised Dunk on the show, and like 3 days or 2 or 3 days before Spanto passed, or maybe even been like a day. I don't remember, but we all gave the shoe a drip. No one said anything negative about it. They're like, this is a great shoe.
Yeah.
And I just remember in the head, I'm like, just be like, oh, shout out Spanto.
Yep.
And then he passes like the next day or two.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy to me that like
the timing of it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we look forward to the sneaker, and we hope it's a celebratory release to some extent.
Definitely.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
What else is happening in sneakers? We unlocked a mystery. I love when this happens.
Oh, we
on
did
the show.
unlock a mystery.
I love when this happens on the show.
You were on the WhatsApp. Sorry to interrupt, but you were on the
Please.
WhatsApp. This guy global, okay? I didn't know this guy. Sometimes,
You
he'll
didn't
send-
know?
Yeah,
you were talking in the recent episode about me being on jets.
Oh, we knew that. But the WhatsApp, I didn't know that it extends to even
All
the messaging
continents.
platforms.
All continents,
This guy,
yeah.
sometimes he'll send a DM. Sometimes, I don't know, what's the new one? Spill? He'll send a Spill screenshot.
He's on a blue sky.
Yeah,
If
all
you-
of a
if you
sudden
really
he does
want-
the
listen.
WhatsApp. He sends the WhatsApp. This man moving different in his 27th year of birth.
27.
27, wow. That is generous. But if you do work at a sneaker brand and you really want to chat with me, definitely hit me on the signal. But we were talking on here about the Milano Air Max 97s, Inter
yes.
Milan 97s, and Joe's long quest to get them, and how there was still some uncertainty about the pair with the Milan logo on them versus the general release, and
Which is which,
Yeah. And I love this when we put something out there publicly on the podcast, and the audience is so vast and so wide and spanning every corner of the globe that somebody who worked on that project responds. And this is a guy named Alessandro. Thank you for reaching out, who works at Nike's Milan office, who put together the project. He's actually, he said, an AC Milan fan, which they're rivals. So shout out to him for putting his personal bias aside and working on an incredible project. And he told us that there are 200 pairs of the Friends and Family version, Friends and Family only, with special logos on the tongue.
There
club
we
logo.
go.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
Okay.
And the insoles, and there's also a special promo packaging for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so mystery solved.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And we hope we'll be securing your pair soon, Joe. What's the shipping status on the pair that you bought?
Delayed.
They'll touch down.
delayed.
They'll touch down.
So I don't know if, listen, that'll be great.
Yeah. So happy we solved that. Can we talk about another Air Max? Just a little bit. Listen.
If this is what I think it is,
Listen.
Let me tell you something. If this is what I think it is,
It is exactly what you think it
I
is.
was a little under the weather this weekend. I'm not saying that. Not only does both of these statements include him, he may have had a little cold last week. All of a sudden, I get a cold this weekend. But if this is what I think this is, go ahead, and then I'll jump in.
I only want to know, did we milk too much?
Oh,
I'm already
is
self-aware
what it
about
is.
it. Don't worry. My air burst fell apart last week. And then I felt like it was an interesting moment, and we had some cool photos, and it's a relatable thing. But we did an entire promo press run, and
me
I'm
tell you
probably
something.
to blame for this. There were way too many assets and conversations on every possible platform about my airburst. So I'm sorry to the whole world who suffered through the long tail of the explosion of my airburst, which you are back in this very moment. Go ahead,
The
Joe.
most marketed piece of content in Complex of the last decade.
Yeah.
The last decade. We had
It's
Wale
funny.
Seinfeld on the cover. We have Complex Con. We have shows that have top tier talent.
Weekly.
If I see another soul collapse of him
Gingerly
of him
two-stepping.
tiptoeing.
Did it become a TikTok?
Tiptoeing. If
Did they put it on TikTok?
Of course
I
they
don't
put it
know.
there. I think Complex Australia put it up. If
We
I
got a
see
billboard
this
in Times
guy,
Square.
this guy walking gingerly into the studio one more time, I couldn't keep track. I was like, oh yeah, we did it on the podcast. You did it on Full Size Run. You did it on everything.
You know what's funny?
It did get good engagement, though. I saw Jeff Staple comment, but I guess also a Cause 4 was included in that
Yeah, how did the
roundup.
Cause
How
4
did that happen?
Yeah, that
we
must,
did a roundup on the Instagram post. We'll post it
that
here.
must
But
have, that must have been one of those like Southeast Asia shoes or something like that, where there's just like a ton of humidity.
There was a cause for that
Yeah.
crumbled? Oh, my God.
You know, sometimes it's like people who live in places like Malaysia,
Yeah.
Indonesia, where there's Hawaii. There's just so much humidity that the
Yeah.
shoes fall apart faster. That would be my guess.
yeah.
It's funny because it's funny.
Well, did we do too much with my airburst?
No, it's funny. And
said
like,
no?
No?
Hold on. It's funny because so you had posted. It happens on set, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
we're back in it. And here's another 10-minute segment on it.
No. This is sort of quick. You had posted the walking video, right?
Yes.
And then
You posted it as well.
yes, that's what I'm about to get to. And then Complex Sneakers had posted it, and you're like, they couldn't just retweet me. They had to post the content themselves. So then you had already posted the video, so I'm like, okay, it's already out there. And I remember I had taken a picture of set on it, and I posted it. And in the back of my head after I posted it, I go, damn, should I have not posted that? Because it was like, I know you had already posted like the walking video, but
My head is already.
But I'm
my
like-
head's
I'm
spinning
like-
right
I'm like-
from this convo.
after I had posted
my
it-
head is spinning already. Who's posting what? Complex Sneakers is
on.
posting.
I posted a picture on my Twitter, and I'm back in my head. I'm like, oh, is Brendan gonna get upset because you'd already posted the video?
Did
but
Sneaker Report post it?
that I didn't realize that
Remember Sneaker Report?
Nice.
if I just scooped, like, because I know you had taken a bunch of pictures of it. I'm like, oh man, he had
A
posted
bunch
it.
of pictures. We got enough for the Library of Congress.
I just
Oh my
thought-
God.
We're gonna put
I'm
out
like,
a
oh, did
DVD
I-
with
Oh
the
my
special
God!
I
features.
just
There's
thought
30
I'm
for
like-
30 on these shoes.
I was like, did I tweet it too soon and scooped your own scoop for your own engagement? I don't
No.
know. I felt kind of.
I think he got
you
plenty
for that.
of fucking PR. Excuse my language. Let me block it out. Maybe put a little.
No.
We got plenty of PR that the algorithm.
according
I
to-
thought I was on Twitter, the For You tab, which is a mess. Every time I looked on Instagram, I was like, wait, am I on Twitter? Or because all I saw
Seeing my
the whole weekend, him just walking like this.
Step by step, walking all over your algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
According to Elon Musk, you got 147,000 views.
You're doing good on Twitter.
on the
I know.
tweet.
You've been getting some tweets off. You've been feeling froggy, haven't you?
No.
Yeah, you have. I'd be checking.
Try
Not
to
real time.
try to
What is that?
rein it in.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
that was
Not real time, but I enjoy going back like a few days after and checking your timeline, see what you're up to.
Oh, and
what's he been up to?
gets angry sometimes.
Talking that cash. Are you? Don't be shy.
By the
okay?
way, before we get any deeper in this, should we talk about the sneakers we have
Sure.
on feet?
Yep.
Don't worry, mine aren't going to fall apart.
Oh,
Can
are
you
you
imagine?
sure? God.
Can you imagine if I
Imagine
showed up to
just
set
milking
today
it.
with it?
What if this is like an ongoing gag with you, where like you're just
I'm on eBay weekly buying Air Maxes
no,
from the
but-
early 2000s.
Just to collapse it for the
wear
for the
content?
attention.
You start wearing ones that people don't think are going to fall apart, but you know it's going to fall apart, and you're like, oh, dude, we almost made it through the show, and just
Imagine this. Imagine I went so deep in my thirst for attention on the sneaker internet, which God knows I've been deep before, that I was buying relatively new pairs and soul swapping them with old pairs just to have them fall apart on purpose so I could post on my Instagram. Well, they finally went on us.
How cruel would that be to like as like a practical joke to play on a friend where you gift them a pair of shoes and they think it's the brand new shoe, but you soul swap it with a
Actually,
old.
I may do that to my friend Andrew. That's actually a good.
You know,
Oh, you give him a pair of green
Yeah.
bean 5s with the old sole on it and just
or
walks.
the Mellow 1.5s.
I want to go on eBay after this and see if there are some old, people always sell old versions of sneakers where they're like, oh, this is a donor pair, you're gonna have to resole them.
Yeah.
I want to know where all the soles they've peeled off of those, so we can go and buy like a bag.
Where's
of,
the sole graveyard at?
48 crumbled soles or soles on the verge of perishing.
We never talked about it. Are you going to resole them or no?
You want more?
No.
On the shoe?
Quick.
Well,
Move on.
Didn't Russ Benson say to you should get them resold?
Yeah, Russ always has an opinion.
Oh.
We don't have to talk about the airbursts anymore. Okay, officially, can we just do a moratorium? Like it's a swear jar type thing, and I have to put in $1?
We'll see.
What if
Yes,
out of nowhere
exactly.
what if out of nowhere like Nike all of a sudden retros like the Slim Shady burst because of
It won't be out of nowhere. I promise you that. Okay, we're done.
Finished.
The sneakers we have on feet. I am wearing a Nike Air Max 95.
that won't fall apart?
No, they won't. This is a Nike ID pair with some blue speckles on the midsole, kind of like Stash looking. I wore these on Full Size Run recently. Speaking of milking, I'm also milking this Air Max moment.
Is there any special writing or anything on the shoe?
No.
Have you ever done an ID with writing on it?
No, the amount of IDs I've done is really few. It's maybe 2 or 3, and I never, as a high schooler, I spent a lot of time on the platform cooking up colorways and writing things that I thought would be cool.
What was it? Do you remember something that you wrote on a shoe
Remember
that
who
like
fronted?
didn't make the cut? Like some sort of pun or joke or
No, but we should tap in Jonah Peretti for that one because he's got history.
what?
On Nike ID, that was like his first viral moment.
I don't know that.
Look it up.
I will.
Come on, Jonah. You know what time it is. Salute.
Okay.
Joe,
Okay.
what are you wearing on feet?
Lorenz OG.
Those got some writing on the back.
Yes, they say Nike OG. Lorenz OG Custom 95s.
They kind of look like those. Don't you have those Japan
Yes.
95s that are
Yes.
pink?
That's what I
Yes.
thought they were.
No,
Same.
the Japan 95s are alternate pink. But yeah, brought these out.
That's how you feeling.
That's pretty much it. Brothers in Air Max 95.
I love it. Welty, sorry that you weren't invited to the party.
Ooh.
Committing one of the 7 deadly sins on depends who you ask.
What?
Wearing on shoes.
Oh, they're not still on is all over.
We're on.
Yeah.
So these are the Cloud Stratus. I'm not 1,000% into everything that On does.
Yeah.
But some of the shoes that have the thicker midsole on
like
it,
them thick.
I feel like they look different enough from the black and white European tourist shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're distinct enough. I
I feel
like them.
I feel like you could get a pair of Ons off, Joe.
Get the ons off. Yeah, right?
Maybe.
Pair of Cloud Monsters.
I'll tell you, I spent a lot of time in Delray, which is the on capital of
That's
the
what you
world,
said.
West Palm Beach. Maybe,
That's what you said.
fit in right there.
I
You
haven't,
know?
a lot of people have asked how are they for running. I haven't ran in them, so I don't know. But they are comfortable to walk around in. I'll give them that.
All right.
Okay.
Glowing review.
Grilling and chilling shoe.
Yeah, you've been grilling a lot.
Can we talk about some more Air Max stuff? I promise it's not that.
Okay.
Yes.
2024 leaks. I got
Yep.
some stuff. Should we get into it?
Sure.
Nike Air 180 Retro in the original Ultramarine colorway.
Nice.
Is anybody interested in that?
I'm interested in it, but it's also going to go on sale for like $60.
No, not interested in this.
Well, it's a white
Good
shoe.
The thing
It's
is,
like the whitest
Yeah, I
of
know,
white
I
shoes.
know.
It's like the white shoe that gets dirtiest.
a
Yeah.
big dirt magnet in the past,
Yeah.
right? You've had a few pairs of Ultramarine
I
Air
had
180s, right?
I've had one pair,
Okay.
and I gave them away to a coworker at Foot Locker at the time, which was I wish I hadn't done it. But
Wait,
Yeah.
why do you wish you hadn't given them away?
you know what? It was just a period where I think this is like the 2012 like menswear era of like boat
That
shoes.
you always say, yeah.
Yeah, dress shoes. Where I was like,
Cleaning out your closet.
yeah, I was like, I don't wear sneakers as much anymore. I can
But
get,
you
I was
don't-
like, there was someone who I worked with who liked those shoes, and I was like, you want them?
You were rocking those Ronnie Feig Sabagos back then?
I had the Sabagos on
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah. I didn't have the Ronnie Feig ones, but definitely was on the.
No fringes on your footwear. So Nike Air 180 coming back. I think they will roll it out in a limited fashion, probably to neighborhood stores first, and then do a wider retro.
The regular
as
release.
we've seen. Yeah, I'm kind of into this because I've never
I
owned.
love that shoe.
Will
in
you buy it
general.
next year?
I don't know if I'll buy it, but because I'm at I've said this, I'm
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
max capacity with footwear. Actually,
No pun intended.
gave away, felt great
Yeah.
to someone at the gym. I gave them 4 pairs of sneakers
Nice.
this morning, and
Very
just
good.
felt to like.
Yeah. So it was my birthday, and you gave somebody else a gift.
Yeah,
We were
don't
not the-
worry.
we're
We're
not
gonna
the same
get.
size.
We're gonna figure. We're gonna sort you out.
Your gift is being here with.
Wow, your presence
Yeah.
is a
Yeah, I like the 180. I had one of the shoes that
Opium?
we always talk about, like, have no idea where these shoes are. Definitely didn't give them away, but one that definitely got lost in some sort of office move or
Great shoe.
apartment move. Opium 180.
You had the Opium
I had
180s?
those.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love
I
the
had those.
OG Ultramarine pair. Bought those at George and Phillips in Exeter, New Hampshire. But there's also another Air 180 moment that's iconic. Dream Team 1992.
Yes.
The white, purple, and gold pair. There's actually
the
a picture
Concord
of
pair, yeah.
I believe it's a Sports Illustrated photo shoot of Michael Jordan doing the Jumpman logo, wearing a pair of Air 180s.
I have the Union one. I got them over the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
The basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. The higher version.
Guessing I can't wear those. Talk about. Well, we're not going to bring it up again. I'm not bringing it up. But
It was you, not me. Let the record show.
those probably wouldn't work out.
And I think
Might work out for your Instagram engagement.
Yeah,
low key one of the best Air Maxes in the past 10 years, I would say.
What?
There
See-
Ralph Steadman?
yes.
Ralph Steadman version of the Air 180?
Yeah, there's an Air 180.
This is close to your heart, too.
Yes, Ralph Steadman. For those who don't know who Ralph Steadman is,
Oh,
this is how the audience may know who Ralph Steadman is, and I'm not happy about this.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I know exactly where
Ralph
you're going. Please go
Steadman
there.
was the person who drew the artwork for the Huncho Jack album cover.
But,
What's wrong with
but
that?
beyond that, before
Ralph
that,
Steadman is the famous illustrator who did all the Hunter S. Thompson Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72. All of that stuff, that's where his artwork is most known for. Also Flying Dog Beer. He's also does the logos for that. But either way, he did the original ad campaign for the Air 180, which was a jackrabbit.
yes.
And they took the original ultramarine colorway, made it like a furry jackrabbit suede, so it's like a light tannish brown, and
Yeah.
then put his artwork on the tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's such a smart.
Yeah, just real insidery reference historical sneaker stuff.
It's not everyone's gonna get it, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it
Yep.
works on the original color,
Yeah.
changes it enough, and then references something cool. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's awesome.
and also 2018 CDG 180.
Yes.
Black and pink.
CDG
You like that
180s.
shoe?
I like the all pink.
Okay.
I wish I would have got a pair of those when they went on
Black
sale
and
at
pink?
Barney's. I actually bought with a friend. I think I've told the story on here before.
Yeah.
We rushed to Dover Street Market when they dropped them, and we both bought the pink pair, I think it was, and promptly took them to Flight Club.
Wasn't the retail was like $330?
It was, I think it was 260 or
260, that's what it was.
265 or
Black
something.
and pink. I
260,
love
that's
those
what it
shoes.
And they sat forever, and maybe one of those classic, I made $20 off this 4 years later type
Big
of
JLP
shoes.
shoe though.
Yeah.
The- before we move on from 180s, Dizzy Rascal 180s.
Yes.
I mean,
Iconic grill.
that's a grail for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that'll be among the upcoming colorways, but maybe I'll go and track those down.
It's one
No,
of
I
those
won't.
shoes that I feel like Nike. I mean, I get it. It's not. The model isn't like bulky enough. Where like the Air Max 1s and the Air Max 90s have like that bulk to them, where they like sit
Yeah.
better with pants. Where like
Yeah, the stance to them.
where the 180 has like the kind of like gusseted tongue or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. It's like a neoprene, so it doesn't really wear as well with pants.
It's a little slimmer.
Yeah, it's slimmer. The toe springs up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in the front. It's more of a short shoe,
Yeah,
in my opinion, but great model.
yeah. Some other leaks for next year. Nike Pegasus 2005, the Nike Peg 2K5 is coming back. Welty, I know you have strong feelings about that shoe. And this is one that was telegraphed by the CDG versions that were previewed a few months
Yep.
ago, so it was we knew it was coming back, but I've seen some catalogs with more Nike Peg 2K5 in the mix.
Yeah, Pegasus obviously one of Nike. They're on the Peg 40 now.
A million pegs.
Such a crazy,
Pegapalooza.
such a crazy.
That's a different thing.
such a crazy
Is
sneaker.
that a thing?
Such a
kidding.
crazy
Jeez.
sneaker nickname.
Don't Google it.
Yes,
Go on, Welty.
the Nike Pegasus, Nike's longest standing continual sneaker line.
I believe so.
Yeah. It's not like it's safe to say the Pegasus is, Brennan, it's literally the workhorse
Yeah.
of the Nike running line. It's not their like premier
Yeah.
shoe, but it's not a budget shoe, but it's like,
The standard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I worked at all the sneaker stores, the Pegasus was just something that we had on the shelves, right?
Always.
Always. But this was
You sold a lot
also,
of Pegasi?
No.
and this is Pegasi.
You like that?
This was during the period that we talked about where Nike running wasn't as big because they were more focused on Nike shocks. They had the Bowerman series, but it wasn't as popular. Like I would say, like at that time, like Brooks and Asics were just eating Nike's cake when it came to like core performance running at the time. People just trusted the product. And I remember just the Pegasus 2005 was the most like uncool sneaker. Working at Dick's Sporting Goods, dudes in khakis and polos and.
This is important history for when the shoe comes back around to remind people that it was not at all a cool shoe.
Not at all a cool shoe, and not a shoe that like, oh yeah, some of the cool guys were into it, but they had to be like super hip. It's like nobody cool wore that sneaker at all. Same with another recent comeback, Asics 2160 that we're seeing. That's probably going to get a big ramp up. Kiko Costanad.
I'm staying away from that one. We'll just call him Kiko.
Dime. I like the Dime pairs. Dime Montreal.
Didn't love him.
But that shoe's going to get a push as well.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a year or two after the Pegasus 2005. But
in terms of their original release.
Yeah, but it's that whole era of just suburban dads, like their running shoes.
Performance running shoes. A couple other ones, Air Max 2013. There'll be some more of those. There's a new Nike Air Max Plus called the Air Max Drift with a new upper on it. Year of the Dragon Air Force Ones in January. There's an Easter egg Nike Air Max One. Not like the Easter Air Force Ones or the
but
Easter
also
180.
Yeah, I forgot about the Easter 180 is my favorite Easter shoe of all time.
Good one.
Yep.
Yeah, but Easter egg one, will look a little bit different. We already knew about the eggplant foams coming back, but they don't quite look like eggplant foams. It's just more
of a purple.
Yeah, it's more of a straight purple. So a bit of a bummer.
Do you get away with those, Joe?
I don't know if I can wear foams right now.
No.
Have you ever worn foams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
CDG I wore recently.
You were big. You were big into the CDG foam, weren't you?
Yeah.
Sorry for.
It's always a shoe. The CD. You don't like those?
remembering. No, I like them fine.
Oh no, it's all right. Sorry for forgetting your birthday. CDG, not forgetting, not knowing. CDG, not knowing the date. CDG,
Which one's worse?
They're all bad, but we're gonna make it up to you.
No, please don't.
CDG foams are a shoe that I look at twice a week, and I'm like, maybe I'll throw these on, and never do. But yeah, I like them.
I still think, and I said this when we did it because I knew you were a big proponent of it. I still think looking back to last year's best sneakers of the year list, that the CDG foam posit being on there wouldn't age particularly well.
Didn't Ronnie like them too when he was here?
Yeah, he was high on the CDG foams if I recall correctly.
I like those.
I just feel like
maybe though.
Was I not backing the shoe at the time?
No, you were like the biggest proponent of the shoe.
Oh, okay.
But I just feel like
stand firm.
I feel like maybe
I stand firm. Something
maybe
I couldn't
looking
do
back
when I had
that
the airbursts on feet.
The CDG foam posits weren't
Not a top 10?
not a top 10 shoe.
I think maybe they were. I'd have to check my database.
It's
though.
cool. It's cool what they did, but
Something else in the vein of the Pegasus 2K5 that I want to talk about, the Nike Vomero, the continued dominance of the Vomero.
yeah.
We have some interesting news bits from Nike's latest earnings call. This is for fourth quarter 2023, and I'll just read the quote in my best John Donahoe voice. He said, the Vomero 5 is coming into the summer with a ton of momentum as we've substantially increased its volume all year. So we're going to see plenty more Vomero 5s.
Okay.
Wasn't there a bit too where John Donahoe kind of like tipped his hat to like Hoka and On?
Yeah, he mentioned. I mean, maybe
What did he say?
Maybe I was drawing some conclusions that
Said the
weren't there.
running
But
space got a little more competitive.
yeah, looking at the subtext,
Sure.
it seemed like he was talking about some things like that. There's some cool Vomeros for next year, a white gum one. But also, I want to mention
Oh, that sounds really good.
Also
Yeah.
a triple black one, right?
Oh,
I'm
look
not
at
into
this
the Vomero, though.
Really?
No.
What?
What?
I'm not.
So
How?
It's just not.
Or is it because they haven't done a colorway that's spoken
No.
to you yet?
No, I'm just.
I thought that would have been a big JLP shoe.
No. I almost like.
you
It's
didn't
not
get
the
you
same.
didn't get the Panda pair?
No.
A cold wall of Vomeros?
Dude.
I like those,
Solarized?
but back in the day, I liked those, but no, I
You're
don't
in
own
your
a pair.
Anders home. I like those back then.
I
Like
also saw about my father, and Anders was hilarious.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
A brilliant
hilarious in
performance.
it.
Do you think
Hilarious.
the Oscar is coming his way?
Yeah, maybe.
A nom, at least.
Yes.
Me
Oh,
and him-
definitely.
Me and him
It was
had
hilarious.
Me and him had a conversation about footwear this weekend because I got a YouTube sponsored ad that popped up, and Vibram Five Fingers are attempting a comeback.
He was
And-
there.
and-
He was out. Anders was outside. Okay.
and
Literally.
Yeah.
On the trails.
and I DM, I go, dude, I just got a YouTube ad about the Vibram Five Fingers having a push behind it, and he goes, they never went away.
Wait, Welty, I want to say on the Vomero.
I'll never own a pair of Vomeros, I don't think.
We're gonna get you.
Dude, I
Maybe
thought
for your birthday
Why?
next year.
just like you like these sort of Nike technical running shoes,
Plain colorways.
big like you need something for a sneaker shopping episode. They do a black colorway. You rock them with a pair of like Kith track pants, a little like loose and unlaced.
No, not my
Wow.
favorite. Yeah,
A staunch opponent of the Nike Vomero 5.
Not a
Who
staunch
would've-
Brendan,
opponent, but
that
just-
mood, that
Guess.
mood board I just said of Joe, is that something that you would have thought that would have
Yes,
happened?
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I want to talk about another mood board, Welty, because I want to give you your props on the Vomero 5. Because I think it was last week we were discussing this shoe, and can you remind me how you presented it in that context? In terms of, I think you were talking about it being a sneaker where you don't want the obvious big collaboration or the limited edition shoe, the cool colorway, the super hype thing. You just want something calm that you can put on your feet that's a nice sneaker.
That is the
That was the gist of your views on it.
Yeah.
So I was looking at, again, as we're leaking sneakers that are coming up in the seasons to come, a document, an Eternal Nike document, and this document included a mood board type slide on the Vomero 5. And Welty was exactly right. We can't say that this is the feeling or the positioning of the Vomero 5 across the whole company, but at least some people are seeing the shoe in a similar light. And there's a quote about, this is from an Eternal Nike document, retro runners are viewed as anti-hype counterculture that evoke a cool factor when worn. And then they also call it the, quote, I still love sneakers, but I'm tired of all the hype shoe. So let's just say that Welty was right in the middle of the dartboard with that one.
So today I had a sneaker thought, because sometimes when we'll shoot these episodes or shoot full size run, I'll pick out a pair of shoes that I want to wear, right? And I still have to commute from New Jersey to the office, and just so you get the vibe, I have about a 10-12 minute walk to the train station from my apartment. So you're going to be walking a bit both ways in the shoes. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to wear these on camera today.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
What?
Just kidding.
No, but whatever.
I'm kidding.
But I'm going, hey, I'm going to lace up like a pair of shoes I haven't worn yet. You know, Sometimes I'll throw them in the bag and throw on a pair of like beaters and then just throw them on at the office. Not that I
Really?
You know what I did that with?
Stop it. But wait, so just not to get them dirty.
Yeah,
just DS them.
Not to get them scuffed.
DS them for the show.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they don't get creased or like whatever.
I do the same thing at sneaker shopping. Same exact thing.
But it was nice today to when I was coming here, when I put these on, I'm like, this is a shoe I can just wear to and from and not worry about keeping the suede shoes in my bag and then unlacing them when I get to the office. I felt like that the other day when I wore the Jordan 3s. I'm like, I know everyone says wear your shoes, but I'm like, I really don't want to walk 2 miles in Jordan 3s today.
Through
I
the
do that a
Manhattan
lot.
grime.
Yeah.
That's where like those Fear of God Birkenstocks come in a little bit, you know, with the socks, and then you just go on set and
So, Vomero 5 here to stay.
I will be passing, but
There's gonna be a colorway that
I
speaks
changed my mind a lot.
to Joe, and like
I
all of a
changed my
sudden
mind
he's just
a
gonna be
lot.
like,
I'm dialed in on the
All right.
blue TNs.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Okay,
dialed in
okay.
on.
Well,
Okay,
one other thing I'll say on this
the
Vomero
cold
thing.
wall TNs. Go ahead.
When we were talking about the shoe last week, we were discussing how it was lacking a big moment and there weren't a lot of marquee colorways aside from the Dornbecker.
Yeah.
This is speculation, but I wonder the extent to which that is on purpose in terms of preserving its status as an anti-hype shoe.
I feel like that blue pair
Yeah.
is like the most like hype-ish.
Yeah, but there's no collaboration. There's no big person attached to it ever. And I have to wonder whether or not that's a plan on purpose of if Travis Scott were to do a version of the shoe,
They almost like
then
don't
they
want,
would
they almost
erase
don't
this,
want
this
they almost
status.
like don't want Travis to wear the shoe.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah,
that they don't, but if they're like trying to keep it for the sneakerheads who feel like people who are a little bit older, who feel a little bit like disenchanted by like the limited sneaker world where they want the cool shoes they can go buy at the store and just wear.
Yeah.
And like maybe that's the shoe. But I did, Brendan, this is funny. I got a little bit of insider intel that
Please.
Ooh, look at you.
this is just a funny
My
Taking
mustache
after
is
your
twitching.
boy.
no, this is a funny fact. I don't know. I'm going to say friend of ours, but former guest on Full Size Run, T Grizzly,
Okay.
Jordan Fusion wearer, has now converted into a big Nike Vomero guy.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
The scoop.
Who would have thought? Awesome. I just think it's funny tidbit.
Absolutely. There's some more I want to discuss from the Nike earnings call. Nike CEO John Donahoe said in that same call that the brand is planning to relaunch the Kobe brand
Yes.
in advance of Kobe Day on August 24th. I think this has the potential to be really big.
People have been waiting for this for like a while now.
Yeah, and it makes sense in terms of timing because we broke the news that Nike's Kobe deal had expired in April 2021. Nike re-signed the Kobe deal in March 2022. And if you think about the timelines it takes for these things to come out.
Things can't I love that you're saying timelines on this because I'll just say it like obviously rest in peace Kobe.
Yes.
Ton of great shoes. I know he's like sadly missed by
Adoring fans across the world.
Of course. But I think we've also seen too that there's been few things more annoying on the internet than like the Kobe sneaker fans who just have something to say about every single shoe and you can never make them.
In terms of what?
Just I'm sure we've seen in
The
games.
releases
Going wrong.
The
There not
releases.
being enough shoes. There not being enough releases.
Or here's I'm the real Kobe fan. I deserve the shoes. You don't deserve them. That's kind of like the vibe around Kobe product at this point. Every single time you'll post it, I'm the real Kobe fan. I should get the shoes. How come I'm not getting them on the release date? That's kind of like you didn't throw a piece of paper into a basket and yell Kobe out like I did. That's
Everyone
like what
did that.
But that's what you hear online.
But the timing is right.
But you saw it with which Kobe shoe was it? The Undefeated release like a couple of years ago where like
The Protro?
they didn't make enough of them and they're like it was the first release after Kobe had passed away and they go, they should have just made 1 million more pairs. And I'm
doesn't
like,
work
dude,
like that.
do you know how the sneaker industry works?
It doesn't work like that. And if you think about the timelines that they usually set for these things, the answer you'll hear a lot is it takes 18 months
Yeah.
from ideation to a shoe landing on shelves. And sure enough, if these shoes are coming back, if the Kobe brand is set to relaunch, as Nike CEO John Donahoe says, in August of 2023, Nike re-signed a new Kobe deal in March 2022. That's about 18 months, so it makes sense. We've seen a couple Kobe releases, only 2 in
Has
the
there only
past
been
couple
2?
years. Yes, there's only
Mambacita?
been, the Mambacita, the 4s and the 6s, right? So I think it just takes time for these things to really be said and designed and produced and things like that. And I'm interested to see to what extent he used the phrase Kobe brand. Of course, that doesn't mean Kobe brand as in Jordan brand.
Well,
they're not building out a separate company as far as I know, but I'm interested to see how big the line will be and how much this can contribute for Nike.
I mean, I guess you don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know because it feels like the deal would have had to been renegotiated because after it like initially had gone away or whatever. So who knows what they put in the new deal?
Yeah.
And also, it's a huge on-court shoe.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
People want to play basketball.
Still the most worn in the NBA.
And as early as, obviously when it was in between deals and it was up in the air what's going to happen, players were complaining about a shortage.
Yeah.
And even players, I think, with signature lines will
Wanted
bring
the
out
shoe.
Will bring out Kobe's any given night.
Yeah.
I think I think Devin Booker, John Morant, and obviously DeMar DeRozan, big Kobe guys. And in the NBA on court, we always talk about like how big are the on court shoes right now? Kobe's in the past few years there's been a shortage. Like ESPN did that article by Brian Windhorst about how like players were hoarding Kobe's. So
also
this should be really good.
There's been more than hasn't there? Am I bugging or did the Grinches re-release?
The Grinches re-released in 2020 before the deal expired.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're right. Never mind. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see all the product come out because, like you said, the only 2 shoes that have come out have been like kind of like really somber tribute shoes, which there's been hype around them, but not that the shoes have to be crazy hype, but there's a lot of like fun old Kobe product that can be brought back that aren't necessarily just like the whole storyline is passing away, where it's like, okay, there's a lot of Kobe fans who want the shoes and want to be
Reverse Grinch is supposed to
who
come
want
at
to
the
wear
end of this
them
year.
and celebrate it instead of just being a sad tribute. you
And
know?
how do you guys feel like this fits into kind of Nike basketball as we're seeing now? Obviously, John Morant got a signature shoe, and there's obviously been some hiccups with that. But like Paul George, who
Went away.
I think, and then Kyrie Irving. So this seems like it's a good time now to.
It's almost like they need it.
Yeah, I think so because I feel like there's less interest right now in the new product. And if they can supplement their business with retro product that has a lot more allure and mystique to it too, you think about, okay, we'll just say it right now. We don't believe that Nike Kobe as a retro line can ever be as successful as Air Jordan as a retro line. Just not possible.
No, because
nothing.
Air Jordan 1
Yeah.
That
alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the Nike Kobe line, through his passing, through his tragic passing, unfortunate, terrible event,
Yes.
and through the deal going away for a while and the shoes becoming newly scarce for a few years, they have this allure and mystique to them that they didn't necessarily have before, that
For
even
sure.
like the LeBron
Yes.
retro line doesn't have. Like, if you would have asked me 6 years ago if LeBron retros or Kobe retros would do better, I would say LeBron. Now, I think Kobe retros would crush LeBron retros all day because they have this added depth to them that can help bring them closer to what Air Jordan means in the market.
I agree.
in my
And
opinion.
I agree, and I also think, like I said, on court, I feel like we always think on court is a little bit of an afterthought, just
But
because
but the people actually do like them.
this
for
is
that.
going to be big.
And
big on
Yeah.
court.
It's both. It's
Yeah.
a retro shoe, but also
Yes.
people will wear
And
them for
I
performance.
think one of the
Yes.
things that the Kobe line also has going for itself, which at the time may have seemed like one of the like downfalls or literal Achilles heel. You know, Kobe had the Achilles injury, but
Yes, that's why they made the high.
all the shoes kind of look the same, right? Like Kobe was so meticulous that he was only like tinkering with like little tidbits of the shoes and changing them a little bit. But that's the style that people want, so they can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
And just
That's
re-release.
the money right there
They
to
can
me.
And then-
release all those shoes. It doesn't matter which one they hop back and forth between. Like people just want that style of shoe, and they all look the same. With like LeBron, it's like, do you like this model or do you like? It's
Much
like,
more distinct from model to model.
It's like you got the 7, then you got the 13, like
And guys, this
it
is
jumps
a full
around.
relaunch, right?
The details on it are pretty slim. We haven't done any additional reporting around it. This is just based on what John Donahoe said on the call. He said we're relaunching the Kobe brand on
Because
8/24.
we came at it just now from on court kind of like performance. But if it's a full relaunch, that means there could be some very exclusive partners to collab on
Yeah, of
Kobe.
course.
Sure,
with.
yeah,
and there,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and there
Yeah.
was we had talked about it on Full Size Run. There's supposed to be a triple white Kobe 8 coming out where it's like you can just see that shoe just blowing off the shelves.
Yeah, and people are ready to buy them, I think, and there's been so much demand built up in this period that I think was a justified. I think a lot of the demand that happens in sneakers is manufactured because sneaker
it's just-
brands short the product, but I think this is a much more legit version
There
of
was
demand.
there was been kind of like this like market like hoarding and price boosting.
Yeah.
So people were like upset because they wanted to play ball in Kobe's, but then everyone who had the Kobe's that they wanted to play basketball in are like, well, if you want to play basketball in these, it's going to cost you $700.
Right, because there were so few pairs that you could buy.
So they're like, I'm not going to sell you these for $50 over retail. So it's all those shoes. None of the people who wanted to play basketball in Kobe wanted to pay the price it costs to play basketball in Kobe's. So now they have a better opportunity to like.
Yeah, do some GRs. Not everything has to be a limited edition one.
Well, I can't imagine a triple white Kobe's going to only be 10,000 pairs.
This
You
is
know?
true. Kobe 8, yeah. I mean, what the Kobe 7s, I remember wanting those so much. Or take it back to Milan for a second, the HTM, Kobe
yes.
9 Milan, the Flyknit ones. Maybe Kobe 9s are too recent to retro those, but there's a lot of
that
special
was
shoes in
a
there.
great one, though. The multicolor with the gum sole.
What's the best one ever?
The best Kobe sneaker ever?
This one may be one that I never
I mean,
got.
it's great.
that's-
I mean,
The,
people,
what, the Kobe 9 Elite
Yes.
Low Milan?
I mean,
Yes.
like something
White
like
and gum?
a Grinch.
Yes.
I think
Oh.
the Grinch is pretty high up there. The Grinch might be the best Kobe sneaker ever.
the Kobe HTM is one that
That's my personal favorite.
Mine
Kobe
too.
9 Elite
Mine too.
Lows. I remember buying the white and black. It was the Beethoven
2014.
pair. It kind of had that Oreo Flyknit look to it. I think I bought those from a random sneaker store in Lithuania with a discount code, and I managed to get them under retail. And yeah, held on to that for a long
big Fraser
time.
Tharp shoe.
Yes, absolutely. He wore those Kobe 9s.
Either way, with that said, Barcelona Kobe 6 is the alternate colorway.
the HTM 9 is the best one, I think. I love the Grinches.
Barcelona Kobe 6, Mamba Curials,
Galaxy Kobe 7s.
3D Kobe 6s.
There's so much special stuff.
3D Kobe 6s.
Yeah? That was
It's on
a big shoe
it's
for
on
you?
my Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I remember being 23rd Street, 3D, and I just remember walking around the office being like, these are 3D, these are 3D, these are 3D. I'm pretty positive they're on my Instagram.
So you were walking around with the Kobe 6 3D on your feet?
Yes.
With a pair of 3D glasses to hand to people, be like, put these on for a second.
And
Check out my footwear.
Yeah, I definitely posted them on my Instagram. We'll
I
check.
know it's not the fan favorite Kobe model, but the Kobe 7s which were the shoes of the Kobe system. The famous commercials, you can go back and watch them. Like Kobe was like a professor in an auditorium. There's one of the commercials with Kanye, which just go back and watch it. They're classic pieces of
that Kanye one is that's still gift to this day.
Yeah, it's just go back and watch them. But the shoes that came from the Kobe 7 era, there was like a cheetah.
Yeah.
One that was pretty hot, and then there was like the purple one, which they ended up doing. That was like, I don't know if it was inspired by, or it came out at the same time as like that Yeezy Kobe.
Yeah, that sample, that Nike Air Yeezy 2 sample.
That PJ Tucker has, the purple, yellow, and red.
Real
one.
Unicorn of a sneaker.
Yeah.
Not a cheetah, but a unicorn.
Yeah. The one that I liked out of there was there was a poison dart frog.
Yes, yeah.
They're like
Look at you.
The black and this is the era that like I worked at Foot Locker.
Okay.
So we had all these.
Do you have any fond memories of selling Kobe 7s? Did you have to explain to people exactly what the system meant?
Not really. They just came with like different insoles that like one of them was a bit higher. I think it was much more successful because at the time it was the Jordan 2012, was it? That came out at the same time that had all the weird insole modifications on it, and that wasn't popular at all. But like at the time, like Kobe product was just so popular. All the Nike basketball stuff was so popular at the time that you didn't really have to explain it to people. They just wanted the shoes.
Don't come with the pitch, neither the shit sell itself.
Woo.
Yeah. So people just wanted the shoes. The one I do remember was the Kobe 4. The first one, right? Like it's not the first Kobe shoe, but it's for all intents and purposes, it was like the reintroduction
very much a statement shoe
of the Kobe line. So you had the Zoom Kobe 1, which was it was the first Kobe shoe. All the real hoopers on Nike Talk at the time were like, oh, this is the best basketball shoe of all time. I remember that. And then I remember we got Kobe 2, and Kobe 2 was tied to the Olympics at the time, even though Kobe wore like the Hyperdunk. And that's that shoe that had like the strap on it. And there was issues with the shoe where the strap wouldn't, like the magnetics on it or something would like come apart.
Or faulty. Okay.
Yeah. Kobe 3, that shoe almost like didn't exist. Like very few stores at the time even got that shoe. That's the high top that has like the web on it. I don't think Nike
geometric look on it.
I don't think Nike made a lot of them as compared to the previous models, because the Kobe 2 was kind of like a slump shoe.
Yeah.
Kobe 3, then the Kobe 4 comes out.
You're going down. Keep going.
I know.
So Kobe 5
I want to be in the rabbit hole.
Kobe 5 comes out, and I remember this was a huge deal because it was the relaunch of.
Go ahead. You're fine.
What's wrong?
No, you're fine.
I just saw him wink to somebody off camera.
You're fine.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
Okay. It was the relaunch of the model, and you had it at Foot Locker. There was a commercial that they had launched with the MVP puppets for the shoe.
Yeah.
And
Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah, and I think the Kobe one was like there was a Foot Locker employee out back, and he goes and takes the new Kobe shoe out, and the joke was the shoe was so hot that it set the store on fire. But the colorway of the shoe was different than the actual colorway of the shoe that got made. There was like the
one featured in the commercial.
Yes, like the midsole was different. It was like a clear sole or something like that. And people came into the store and they were so upset because it was like around Christmas time. And they saw the shoe and it wasn't the shoe. They're like, "Hey, where's that new Kobe shoe? It's amazing." They went to the store. It wasn't the exact same shoe, and they're like, "These look different."
How'd you handle that? How did you handle it?
I go, "Hey,
As a
man."
salesman.
Yeah,
I go, "Hey, man, I don't know. It's a cartoon, you know, like
That's not real life. This is a perfect opportunity for the Nike people who are listening, jotting down notes every week during this podcast. Bring that colorway out, the lost one from the commercial. You can put Matt Welty in the campaign.
It was just slightly different. I think
To give you all the history.
I'm impressed. You have a lot of Kobe history. You were really dialed in when you were.
through it.
He was hooping in the gym.
Yeah.
I was
He was absolutely.
just work through it, you know. Yeah, but
Sorry, shooting in the gym. Sorry, let me correct myself. Excuse me. I don't want to get that wrong.
But was surprised though because that shoe sold. Even though people were disappointed it not being the exact same as the one, it just sold so well.
Thanks in no small part to the efforts of yourself.
But also, and I think we talked about in here, like the Hyperdunk, the original Hyperdunk, 2008.
Yeah.
Which also Kobe was tied to. That shoe sold so well too.
The
So
Marty
I think-
McFly.
Well, we didn't have that colorway, but
You went into the Foot Locker bugging Welty.
Oh, sorry. You're talking about
But there was a Kobe colorway.
the Aston one, right?
No, of the 2008, there was a black,
Yes.
purple, and yellow.
Yes.
that,
I remember.
That sold out as well. So
and yeah, Hirachi 2K4.
I mean, I don't think they'll put that in the Kobe.
No,
brand,
but
yes, you got to talk about those when you talk about Kobe.
Classic.
Absolutely. Joe, I felt like you were zoning out for a little bit. It's Welty. Sorry,
Okay.
I hope we didn't distract you. I
No.
could tell something was going on behind the scenes.
Nothing was going on.
Something was going on.
Nothing was going
I know
on.
exactly what's going
No,
on.
I was zoning out 2 times. 1, you caught me winking off camera. Fine. 2, I was looking up the Instagram of the 3D. My memory's off a little today. Okay, my memory's off. There's no Instagram of me in the Kobe 3Ds. What other? Do we have anything else?
One more thing I want to mention
Yes,
from the Nike
we're not
earnings call. John Donahoe said in there, quote, Jordan is on its way to becoming the second largest footwear brand in North America.
That's. How do you feel about that?
it's fine.
No, I mean, I'm not saying are you
Are you
pissed
mad?
off about it, but do you think that we were talking about it a little this
Imagine
morning?
that Jordan is bigger in North. Jordan alone is on its way to becoming bigger in North America than Adidas. Or like, how frustrating must that be if you're one of these smaller brands who we've mentioned, On or New Balance or something, and you're putting in all this work to design all this stuff and come up with all these collab partners, and like at the end of the day, Jordan Brand, who the people at Jordan Brand, we love you, we know you work hard, you come up with cool colorways, but they can, in some respects, just bring out the same shoes and crush it and be the number 2 brand.
It's just surprising
on their way.
It's just surprising to me because it's not that Jordans aren't popular and it's not a.
They are.
Yes, I'm saying not that they're not.
Right.
And it's not a dig at Jordan Brand at all, but it's just how limited the company is. Like the overall like.
How small of an operation it is relatively? Is that what you mean?
No, but like the scope of like what Jordan Brand is able to do.
That's what I'm saying.
Because not because of the people who work there, but it's a basketball company who makes some new performance basketball shoes, but mostly retro basketball shoes.
Yeah.
They've tried to make lifestyle shoes. They've tried to make running shoes. That's not like a big part of their business.
Not significant.
No, but I mean, Team Jordans and all that sort of stuff, way bigger than we ever give them credit for. But it's not like Jordan can go out and make a shoe that's going to rival this, or they don't have a new running shoe, or they don't have this like new. They have the Jordan 1, but just like casual lifestyle shoes, where it's like they can't just make those shoes and be like just watch the money pile up,
Yeah.
So it's just surprising to me that like through Team Jordans and just like re-releases of old retros that they're able to topple other brands that just seem to have a more diverse portfolio of footwear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
think so,
like,
but-
how frustrating is this if you work at one of these other brands and you're doing all these things to try and come up with it, and you look over and you see that Jordan Brand is on some way.
But also
to be number
because
2.
Jordan 1 probably.
But the caveat too is within North America.
Yes, of course. Yes.
It's not that Jordan Brand is the second biggest footwear brand on the planet.
No, in North America, on their way to becoming. Yes.
And what was it usually? Would you say in third place?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We'd have
I think
to
they
get Matt Powell
were
in for
maybe
that.
third or fourth place. I think there was like a time where like Skechers had like boosted up to there.
Yeah,
but
it's funny. I was having a conversation with our friend and coworker Zach Dubasic, and he relayed an old story that I think someone from a sneaker brand told him, where they were having a conversation about the popularity of Jordans in New York, and the person from the brand told him, Air Jordan is the most popular sneaker in New York City, and the second most popular sneaker in New York City is fake Air Jordan.
Wow.
Which,
Wow.
Anecdotally, I don't think it's actually based on data,
No.
but just this was how much the brand was saturated and penetrated here in New York and here in North America.
I have been noticing now that we had this whole like we've gone down the reps rabbit hole
Yep.
on this show. I have been noticing the reps in public.
Really?
Yeah, it makes
How?
I saw a pair
It makes
of
me
Travis
like-
Scott
'cause-
Jordan 1s when I got off the
Yep,
train this morning.
that's
that were
exactly
not
what
it,
it
that
was.
were not
You
it.
look over and you just see it and you go, oh,
Shape, color, what?
there's just something like, I mean, I'm not like 100% the expert on like
know it when you
giving
see
a
it.
legit
You
test.
did- really?
You
Yeah.
just see it, you see it like someone's wearing them. They're like, not that you can't wear your shoes super cooked, but if someone has like $1,000 Travis Scott shoe on, you think they'd maybe be a little more
Yeah.
precious with it, Typically people tend to be with those shoes, and just like someone just they got the heck beaten out of them, and they look a little off.
You can tell.
Also, another shoe I've seen fakes of recently where I'm like, now I'm looking at people.
Look at you, Inspector Gadget.
Now
With
I'm
the
looking at
magnifying glass.
Now I'm looking at people in the eye
Exactly.
because I didn't realize, not that I didn't know about fakes, but I feel like, can we all agree that the more we've discussed fakes on here and the more it's become a bit of the topic, maybe the more we've like learned a little bit about it through everything, you know, especially with people, not to make this the big topic again, but it's like every time we've touched on it, it always just seems to be like one of the most like people have something to say and like
absolutely.
Because it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah, and I'm not like trying to make it bigger than it is or whatever, but it just feels like a lot of people want to talk about it in the comments, you know.
Yeah.
So I read them, you know, and I take them in, whatever. But the other shoe I've seen where I'm like, people you know where you're like, the Tom Sachs Mars Yards.
Really?
Oh.
What streets are you in?
I know what you mean. Sometimes you
Really?
see people with a pair of Mars
Well,
Yards
You
on.
see
yeah.
them, and there are people who have a bunch of like
2.0.
real shoes,
They don't
and you
have
go,
the
that
1.0.
shoe goes for even though the 1.0 goes for more money.
Yeah.
The 2.0, and I don't know how much the price
Still
is.
a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like
Thousands.
people aren't selling; they're just holding on to them. They're not going to sell them off for $300. But I've seen them, and I know they get beat, and they look a little different when they get beat.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
And people beat those shoes. That's
Yes.
a shoe
But I'm
that you
like,
beat.
dude,
Yes.
the color on that suede lost its color a little too fast. It doesn't look the same.
Okay.
Just hey, I'm not
This is
saying
going to be
just,
a man on the street segment.
just
Look at you. Gonna be
you
the
out
man
there with
on
a fake
street?
diamond tester.
One thing I will say, Mars Yard. Yeah, exactly. One thing I will say to me.
Remember when Central C said that?
Yeah. One thing. Fuck. One thing I will say about Mars Yard, I think the Mars Yard 2.0s are some of the best kid sneakers in the kid size.
they look good. Yeah. It's not who I want my kids looking up to, though.
I'm just talking aesthetic.
Okay.
Listen, we said we played it off a little that we didn't know it was the king's birthday.
What do you mean you played it off? You didn't know.
Justin, come on in.
Okay, you were winking off camera. My eyes
this
were
is
wide
what this
open.
is what everything.
This is what was happening. Yeah.
Look at for your birth.
Wow, look at that with the happy birthday crown on, and you went to Welty first.
Wrong person.
Yo! Wow, no, you know what? It's everybody's fucking birthday except mine. If you listen, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
But if you were listening, go back and turn the video on and watch him go over to Welty and give Welty
Wow.
a
Look
happy
at
birthday message
Zach the
before
Basic
me.
said you like donuts.
Zach's right. Thank you, sir.
I also knew that.
I'm okay.
You know
Thank
what's
you.
funny?
Yeah, those are my donuts.
Yes.
You know what's funny about that?
Wow.
You know what's funny about you picking them all out, Brendan?
Tell me.
I knew without even thinking that you weren't gonna take one with an American flag on it. So
Why? It's not America, baby.
nope. As much as he's made that his brand, can't be patriotic.
Well, we're here celebrating my birthday, not America's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Or not Welty's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
I chose not to tell people that it was my birthday this year. It was the first time I've ever done that.
Very
we miss
selfless.
it?
I respect that.
You know what? It's not that I didn't miss it.
I mean, to
Did
be
we
fair,
miss it?
I have no idea when your birthday is, so
It passed like a couple months ago, but I decided not to tell anyone. Decided not to tell anyone. People who hit me up, you know what? I said, hey, like, obviously, like, thanks or whatever. I just kind of, you know what? I've learned over the past, and it's not that I'm not grateful for people saying happy birthday to you, but
it's
on
my
your
birthday. You turned this into a bit about his
Hold on.
birthday.
No, this is it's not. It's just like do you feel like weird getting like inundated with like a million like text messages on like your one day where you're supposed to be like happy and joyful and all that sort of stuff where you're like spending the whole day just replying to people?
How many what he's saying is how many IG stories are you going to repost today?
I don't know.
Okay. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the donuts.
All right, everyone.
Thank you, Justin.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday,
Justin.
America.
Yes.
Wow.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Brendan
birthday.
Dunne.
I said happy birthday to you.
You're the guy. You're
literally
right.
like
You're
a
the guy.
minute into the episode.
Listen, you absolutely thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Sebastian Vettel.
All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We will see you next week.